Hi and welcome to Slick Willy Flying. Today we're going to do a micro gurgler. So super simple, super slick willy, very few materials, incredibly easy to tie, but this is a great fly. We'll get a lot of bites and it's fun. It's that top water action that we love to see, that awesome visual of the bite. So for materials, I have fly foam, which then I mark up with Sharpies, no big deal. For the tail, it's Bucktail and one strand of Krystal flash. For the body is a little bit of 10mm Cactus chenille. I'm going to probably make another one of these orange. So I've already pre-prepped a piece of foam. It's just orange Bucktail. I'm using this copper color Krystal flash, which I think goes great with the orange. And this is like, I think it's called Ginger Cactus Chenille. It's actually not orange, but I think the colors just go great together. So I'm going to have a sip of my cocktail. And I think we hit the like and subscribe as we change the camera angle. And we tie this up. All right, let's go ahead and pop this one out. And let's start a hook. Now, like you guys have seen me do on a lot of videos, I don't like when the material spins. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of super glue on that hook shank. And now I'm going to smear it around with my thread. And I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. Put my base down. Oh, and for thread, I'm sorry, I maybe didn't explain. I'm using 140 denier ultra for my thread. Put a little too much super glue on that. Get my thread out of the way. And whenever I do that, I just smear it around a little, and that helps it dry quicker. So now while I'm letting that dry, I can prep my bucktail. Now, I make this fly pretty sparse. I don't need a lot of material here at all. I don't want a lot of material. It's like no need. So a little clump goes far. I'm going to pull all the shorts out, like you've seen me do in a ton of videos. I'm going to restack the crazy longs. And now my length, length is, everyone has their own opinion on length, but I would say at least 1.5, if not 2 lengths of the hook. So that's plenty right there. And then I don't want it to be long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this so that the end of the butt ends and pretty much at my where I'm going to tie the knot when I'm done with this fly. So that looks about right. And I'm hoping my super glue is dry now. And we're just going to do loose wraps. I'm going to do loose wraps all the way up this hook shank, keeping the bucktail from flaring crazy and pretty much keeping it right where I want it. Now you notice I'm a little bit long, so I could, at this point I could still pull the bucktail straight back, just like that. And now I like where it's ending a lot better. So I bring that all the way to the front. And once I'm all the way to the front, I just check it, I like everything. Well, now I can crank and lock that in nice and hard. Perfect. Okay, so I've pre-prepped this piece of foam. So here's my foam. on the back end I have this little angle cut in it, like a little tail section, and then I have just a little rectangular shape to it. And you notice I didn't bother painting all the way up because this is going to get trimmed and then I'll color in the remaining. So I'm just going to set this right where I want it at that tie-in point. Oh, I almost skipped a step. Gosh, excuse me. We need to put a little crystal flash on. So we're going to take one strand, fold it in half. I'm using that copper that we were talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on my side. A couple of loose wraps. Making sure that I like where it's sitting. Just like that. Like that. I want to take it to the opposite side, and it's obviously going to be way too long, but that's okay. We're going to capture it, and we're going to make sure we like where it's sitting. I didn't, so you see I can back off the thread. Now I'm going to capture it again. That's way better. And I can trim this. I'll probably trim each one individually so that they are similar but not exactly the same. Just like that. Beautiful. That came out great. Alright, so now the foam. So the foam is going to sit, that's about the length I want. It's going to sit right on the back with that V. And now I'm just going to hold it, and I'm going to do a couple of loose wraps right where I started cutting that V into the foam. I'm going to give it a little bit of a curl with my finger. And then I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. And you notice I take my time, and if I don't like the way something wrapped, I can always undo the wrap. And I like the way that looks. Now I'm going to give this a couple of wraps, a couple of turns in front. Perfect. Beautiful. Coming out great. So now it's the Cactus Chenille. This can't be an easier fly to tie. To be honest with you, this is as easy as it gets. So peel off a little bit, exposing that thread. And get this locked in. Now I'm going to bring my thread up, but it's important that the Cactus Chenille doesn't come all the way to the eye of the hook. I'm going to stop the Cactus Chenille about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch from the eye of the hook, and you'll understand here in a second. I'm also going to use my rotary function, so I'm going to get my thread out of the way. We're just going to make this as thick as you like. I like this one to be a little bit thick as I work up this hook. Right about there is plenty. So I can get the holder out of the way, and I can capture the chenille. And then I can just trim that off. Beautiful. Now, making sure that everything is where I like it, and it seems to be. Now I'm going to take a little bit of gel super glue, and I'm going to put just a small straight line of this gel super glue just on the back end here. Just like that. Maybe I go a hair farther. And this will help keep the foam right where I want it. Right on top of this fly. And then again, I'm going to do a couple of loose wraps. I'm going to give it that little curl again. And when you pull hard on this, you'll see that it naturally wants to flare the front end up, which is exactly what we want. Peel that forward, put a few wraps behind. And I create this little bump right in front of the foam that makes that foam flare up, just like that. So now it's a whip finish. I like using my whip finish tool. That whip finish did not come out great, so we're going to do it again. Just like that. I can trim that off. Okay, so we were talking about how we're going to trim this fly. I like to have this rounded front end. You see it here in my chartreuse, in my orange, I'm sorry, and you can see it here in my green. I like this rounded front end. I don't think it matters. I just like the way it looks. So I can't really do it with the fly in the vise. So I'm hoping that you can see this, but I'm just going to just take my scissor, and there's no magic here. Just gonna round off that front end. And then I take the scissor and I just kind of smooth out some of the hard edges. Perfect. Came out great. Gosh, that is just coming out fantastic. So back in the vise. I'm going to get my orange marker. And we are going to dress up the whole front. Just that easy. Now I'm going to get a lighter and a needle. I'm going to singe off a couple of crazy fibers that are going forward. Just like that. Perfect. Hey, so we're back. So there it is. Super simple. The last thing that I do, just to make this fly a little bit more durable, is I have this Hard as Nails, Sally Hansen's Hard as Nails. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a coat pretty much on the entire foam of the fly. All the way around. And of course, I'm going to pay a little extra special attention on the knot and underside. Anywhere where there's thread, really. So that's pretty much the whole top. Now I'm going to make sure that I get this knot really well, and that I get the underside. And that just makes this fly, I think, float a little bit better. The foam won't absorb any water. I mean, the foam floats good anyway, but now it's gonna float just a bit better. And that's it. And really when the hard as nails dries, you can't even see it. This has already been coated with the hard as nails. It looks completely clear. It's perfect. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helps. It's a great fly. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Good luck catching, and see you on the next video.